Today in Irvine, Exponential Fitness is facing a hefty settlement with the FTC. I'm Leah.
And I'm Garrett. Welcome to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett from Irvine.
First up, Exponential Fitness, the Irvine company that sells franchises for boutique fitness brands like Club Pilates and Pure Barre, has agreed to pay $17 million to settle allegations brought by the Federal Trade Commission. The FTC is the federal agency that polices consumer protection and fair business practices. The allegation is that Exponential misrepresented important information to franchisees. Costs and risks were not presented clearly. A franchisee is the small business owner who buys the right to run a location under a known brand. The settlement is pending approval from a federal judge, so it's not final until the court signs off. And this dollar amount is notable. It's the largest monetary judgment the FTC has announced in a franchise case.
Yeah, that hits different. When you're opening a studio, like a Pilates spot or Barre studio, your startup costs, your ongoing fees, and your realistic revenue runway are make or break. If that picture's fuzzy, it can sink someone's savings. Why would a franchisor ever blur that line, Leah?
Real talk. Pressure to grow fast can lead to glossy sales pitches. That's not a defense. That's just the usual why. There are federal rules that require clear disclosures in franchising. In plain English, you have to give people accurate, detailed info before they sign. The FTC stepping in here signals we see you and we're protecting future owners. For folks in Irvine thinking of buying into any franchise, the takeaway is simple. Read disclosures carefully, ask for the numbers behind the numbers, and get independent advice if something sounds too smooth.
That's a solid point. And the judge approval piece is just the legal final stamp, right? Kind of like the court making sure the terms hold up and people are treated fairly.
Exactly. And if approved, that money goes toward addressing the alleged harms. Transparency in franchising isn't a luxury, it's the lifeline.
All right, let's roll on. Next up, Uber is making a big bet on autonomy here in our backyard, teaming with Irvine-based Rivian Automotive. Uber's committing up to $1.25 billion to help develop a fleet of robo-taxis. Robo-taxis are self-driving cars that you hail like a rideshare, but there's no human driver. Rivian's the electric vehicle maker behind the R1 trucks and SUVs, and now they're pushing hard on autonomy tech.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Uber plans to integrate 10,000 Rivian R2 robo-taxis by 2028, starting in San Francisco and Miami. That's a fast ramp, with options for tens of thousands more by 2030. Uber, which actually sold its self-driving division back in 2020, now partners with more than 20 self-driving developers. That's a network play.
Totally. One trade-off, though. Rivian says this autonomy push will delay profitability. They mentioned EBITDA turning positive later than planned. EBITDA is a basic profit yardstick that looks at earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. In simple terms, it strips out some accounting stuff to show core operating profit. So the tech sprint means more spending now and break even later.
Why take that risk now, though? I mean, shifting your timeline on profits is a big choice.
Because speed matters in a crowded field. If Rivian becomes the go-to for Uber's robotaxi rollout, that's massive future volume. And for Uber, it's about leading the market again. They're not building the tech in-house anymore. So partnerships like this are how they move. It's a calculated bet that getting autonomy right at scale will pay off bigger than the short-term burn. Yeah, that checks out.
Okay, let's move on. Coaches have been named for the Orange County All-Star Girls and Boys Basketball Games set for May 2nd at Cypress College. The event is sponsored by OCO and Farmers and Merchants Bank. On the girls' side, you've got Buena Park's DeAnthony Wiley and Portola's Brian Barham leading the squads. For the boys, El Modena's Matthew Henderson and Portola's Brian Smith will be at the helm. These choices mirror strong seasons. But Buena Park took the Empire League title, and Portola made noise in the postseason.
That's pretty cool, right? All-Star Games give seniors a showcase and let rivals become teammates for a night. Why do you think these games land so well with the community, Leah?
Because it's a celebration, not just a scoreboard. Families see months of work culminate in one fun, high-energy game. For the players, it's a confidence boost and a chance to meet coaches and peers outside their usual circles. In a county as competitive as OC, pulling top talent onto the same court builds respect. It's youth empowerment in action.
Let's keep it moving. Orange County baseball rankings got a shakeup. Aliso Niguel, Foothill, and Servite climbed into the top 10, and San Juan Hills made the biggest leap to number 12. Huntington Beach, by the way, is off to a strong start in the Sunset League. That league is the local high school athletic conference with some real heavy hitters. Rankings like these reflect recent results, and they can nudge strategy. Coaches might tweak pitching rotations or lineups to capitalize on momentum.
That's fascinating. Why do rankings swing so fast early in the season?
Small sample size, plus tournament weeks can stack quality wins or surprise losses. One clutch series can rocket you up. And for teams like San Juan Hills taking a big jump, it signals the data's catching up to what coaches have been seeing in practice. This one's got legs, don't you think?
Last up, foodies. This one's for you. The 5 best buffets in Orange County are still serving strong despite the ups and downs buffets have faced. We're talking Asia Buffet for a huge spread of Chinese American and Pan-Asian dishes, Citrus City Grill for that chef-driven American brunch, Habana for Cuban flavors and atmosphere, Orange County Mining Co. with classic American roasts and that throwback vibe, and Royal India with fragrant curries and tandoori. Quick note on the word buffet. It's a self-serve dining setup, and its roots stretch back to a French style of service from the 1500s. Can you believe that's even a thing?
Wild, how that works out. I'm all about that perspective. Food as a little history lesson. What's your move at a buffet, Leah?
Strategy first. I scan the room, grab a small tasting plate to avoid overcommitting, then go back for the winners. At Asia Buffet, I lean toward the wok stations. At Citrus City Grill, it's the rotating chef specials. Think seasonal salads and a carved roast. Communal dining like this is about choice and pace. And honestly, sharing plates with friends, comparing favorites, that's community right there.
So there we have it, folks. From a major FTC settlement to robotaxis on the horizon, all-star hoops, baseball climbs, and buffets worth the trip.
Thanks for tuning in to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett from Irvine. Have a great day, and join us again tomorrow.